The first thing to say is that you don't know what you're going to find, and it can be completely different from day to day. It wasn't until I consciously began this as an activity that I realized that seaweed is incredibly diverse, and there's a huge palette of color and form within seaweed, and you just have to actually stop and look at it. I wait for low tide, that's key, because that's when the seaweed is revealed. It doesn't matter what the weather is like, I'll go out in any weather. Take my bucket. I like a white bucket because I can see the seaweed in it. I can imagine what it's going to look like on white paper, and it really is different every time. And it's a combination of being open to whatever's there and focused, and I'm getting better, I guess, at knowing what's going to make a successful pressing and what isn't. But in the end, it's just whatever's interesting to me, and I'll be looking at form and colour. I only use drift seaweed, so that's seaweed that's not attached. I have no need to use seaweed that's growing, and in fact the sort of rough ride that the weeds have had along the North Sea and the scars that it leaves are interesting to me, and the sun bleaching and all of that can actually make a much more interesting pressing. These are not scientific specimens, they're pieces of art. So I'll collect the seaweed, then I'll bring it back to the cottage. I collect it, bring it home in seawater, and then it's a question of getting it onto the paper. There's always a tension between allowing the seaweed to express itself, to capture the character of the seaweed, but creating a nice placement and a nice silhouette. And then it's a matter of layering it all up and getting it into the press. And then it's pressed for at least 4 weeks. And then there's the great moment of kind of opening it up and seeing what you've got. There are no real rules, what's successful to one person or what's a pleasing kind of press may not be to somebody else. I think what makes the difference between an okay pressing and a really good one is the piece of seaweed. Make my work for me, and I hope people enjoy it, and I'd love other people to have a go.